I'm going to show you how the Sony HVL-LBPC video light works together with the Sony RX10 III camera. In the box with the light, you get the unit here, the light itself, which is very solidly built. Very good unit. It's kind of expensive. It cost me about $550. Then you also have to buy a separate battery or batteries or power supply, which can add another $200 or so or more. But it's a well-built unit, and it does work together well with the camera. These four flaps, the top one is the diffuser, bottom is the condenser lens, the two sides are the barn doors, which add versatility. This unit is an adapter in case you're using the light with a standard flash shoe instead of the Sony multi-interface shoe that it's designed to be used with. This adapter here is for using the light with a Sony lithium series battery that has contacts that need to be adapted for use with the light. Or if you're using the power supply to plug in, you need this adapter also. What you do is you first plug the adapter into the back of the light, and then here I'm going to attach a Sony lithium battery. This particular one is NP-F970. You have to be very careful to make sure you find a genuine Sony lithium battery. The first one that I purchased looked genuine and seemed genuine, but it turned out to be counterfeit, so you have to be somewhat careful on that score. If you are not using a Sony lithium battery, you can use this other type of battery which does not use the adapter to plug into the light. It just plugs straight into the back of the light. And this particular one is a generic version of the Sony BP-U60 battery by Watson. And this one, even though it's not a genuine Sony battery, it does work with the light. It worked fine for me. So you just plug that one in with no adapter. This is the charger that will charge that type of battery, and also is usable as a plug-in power supply for the light. You plug it in here under the DC in flap on that adapter. You have to plug that adapter that I showed you into the back of the light, and then you plug in the cord from the Sony power supply, and that will power the light. Now, if you want to use the light just as a standalone light without attaching it to the camera with the multi-interface shoe, just put the light's power switch to the on position, and it powers on and works just fine, as you can see here. And that's the brightness control, which varies the brightness of the light on this side of the unit. And on the other side of the unit is a color temperature control, which you can use to vary the color temperature between about 3200 and 5600 Kelvin. But if you turn on the brightness booster switch, then the color temperature is fixed at about 4800 Kelvin, and you cannot vary the color temperature if you're using the brightness booster switch. There I'm switching the brightness booster switch between its on and off positions to show you how that works. There, the diffuser and the condenser lens are both in place, and the barn doors are available for use. Now, if you turn the power switch on the light to the auto position, then the light is controlled from the camera through the multi-interface shoe. You go to the custom menu on the camera, to this fifth screen, choose video light mode, then there's four options, the first of which is power link. With that one, you just turn on the camera's power switch and the light powers on automatically. And if you go back to the camera's power switch and turn it off, the light turns off automatically. So that one is a pretty straightforward link. Second choice is record link. With this one, you use the movie button on the camera, and when you turn that on or off, the video light turns on or off as the recording starts or stops from the movie button. The next one, record link and standby, the light is always on. It starts out in standby mode, then when you press the movie button, the light gets brighter, And then when you press the movie button again, the light goes back to a dimmer mode for standby mode. And finally, with the auto setting on the camera's menu, the light will just sense when it gets dark, and it turns on when it gets dark. As the lights are turned out, the video light turns on. But if you turn the lights back on around the camera, it does not turn off. The video light stays on. There's information about this light and a lot of information about the camera in this book on the Sony RX10 III camera from whiteknightpress.com, available late July 2016.